Woo, bro, I am sweating like crazy. Like crazy.
Yeah.
Guys,
It's been
what's up?
lately.
Man, let me tell you, I just finished doing a workout with a client, right? And I'm in the garage. We trained, I worked out with her. I'm gonna be sweating for like another 20 hours. The workout was so intense, and it was literally like only 40 minutes. And let me tell you, 40 minutes is a lot of time, bro. It's a
It
lot of
is.
time.
It
A lot of
is.
time.
I agree.
Man.
I agree.
But fellas, ladies, gentlemen, welcome to today's show. This is the first show, first interview, first sit down. I don't even want to use the word interview, first convo that we're sitting down. I got the one and only 2147 crew. If you have no idea who this man is, if you think about sports performance, if you think about motorcycle build, if you think about having a motorcycle, not knowing what to do with the bike, if you think about having fear of building out a motor and ground pounding, this is the man to connect with and to talk to. 2147 crew. What up, baby?
What's up, man? Thank you so much for having me on the show. And I'm excited on the first one. This is the first, it's the first year show, and it's also the first for me. So it's the first time for both of us, right? But no, thank you very much for reaching out and getting me on the channel, man. I really appreciate it, man. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, man. Like I've been thinking about doing this for a while, sitting down and connecting with different creators, right? Not YouTubers, but content creators. And I don't think people quite understand the work that's detailed or entailed inside of creating content, especially when you have such a vast amount of people. We ride motorcycles, but there are so many different personalities, right? That you can post something and piss somebody off because they completely disagree with what you said, right? Or you can inspire somebody to get up and do something that they saw you do, right? Then comes the legalities behind it. This is why I feel like having those little disclaimers is important, because you might do something on your bike and somebody might say, well, I did exactly what you did and I'm going to sue you. Well, good luck, pal, because this is only entertainment purposes and that's pretty much it,
True. There's a lot that goes into that as well, because you just, so the core of it, right, is you just want to share the information, right? That's why I started it, right? You just want to share the information. But sometimes in doing that, everybody has a difference of opinion, and that's perfectly fine. I welcome it. I encourage it, right? However, sometimes certain topics get a little bit, what am I trying to say? People are certain, they have a certain level of passion behind it. And it's just trying to filter, I think that's what you're trying to get at, trying to filter, to gauge that audience, right, as content creators. But at the end of the day, we're just showing what we're doing. There's nothing there. You know what I mean? So
it's entertainment, man. It's not school. This is entertainment. So, like your videos, I love your videos. I
appreciate it.
Man, I love the stuff that you do. I love your energy. I like the fact that you're willing to share stuff. Like right now, you got yourself another bike that you're now ripping apart. You're now taking everything out of that bike and you're now putting in a whole different system. You're not using any turbo. You ain't doing nothing.
Nothing.
What got you to start to love getting these motorcycles and doing what you do to these bikes? What is it that empowers that?
So the thing about that is I naturally like to go fast, right? And it's just an inherent feeling that I get. I mean, some people call it adrenaline. I don't consider it that. It's just what makes you comfortable, right? Now, obviously, when you go fast, I'm just to get into a little topic, your vision has to be pretty good. You have to learn how to identify cars maybe coming in front or objects on the road, or the curb is coming up and it's a little too tight. So you have to, learn how to identify that. But to answer the core of your question, I just like to go fast, but you want to go fast reliably, right? So last year, well, let me back up. I first started on dirt bikes when I was about, 12 years old, 11 years old, right? It was a 125. And it wasn't mine. It was one of my older cousins, and he left it there for a week, and I had it for the whole week. I ran it, I raced it with my buddies. I didn't break any bones, but I got a few scars on my knees, elbows. But it was just good fun back in the days, right? Again, I was born, so that's probably like the 80s or something like that. But it was a good time. So then fast forward, my brother-in-law at the time had a moped. So I was like, I want to get on that, but I I got off of it because it didn't have nothing for me, My brothers, though, my two older brothers, they rode ride motorcycles, Suzuki's, to high school. Right. This is back again, like in mid 80s and stuff like that. So I would see that, they would, back when there was this thing called books, they would strap them in back of the motorcycle and go. So I did that. So I saw that. And I really admired when I was younger, I admired the what people know what the crotch rockets, right? The Suzuki's, Yamahas, Kawasaki's, all that good stuff, right? And one of the motorcycles that I really, really liked a lot was a Yamaha, the Yamaha R1. I really, really liked that. There was a specific color in 2007 that was like a maroon one, and I wanted that one. But it was like specific and they couldn't get it. So, and of course I didn't have the money. Granted, back in the day, they were like $8,000 and that was like, whoa, right? Like I didn't have the money for it. Going into the military, getting out during college, just trying to figure it out. There was military benefits, but not at the level that they are now. So you still kind of had to figure things out. And so anyhow, so years later, when I was in mid-20s, I was able to get me a brand new Suzuki GX6R 1000. And that was my first street bike, right? So a lot of people say that that's a lot of bike for your first street bike. And there's a lot of topics. Say, hey, is the Road Glide the best bike for their first bike? It should be a Sportster. Personally, get the bike you want and build up to it. Right.
Yeah.
So screw it. I had again, that was a 2007 GX6R 1000 and I bought it and I rode it. I had a good time. It was great. I never did any modifications to it. I didn't need to, but man, I was hitting 180, 190, like stock, no problem. So, but obviously you get older, it's kind of bad on the back. And then years later, I bought me a Street Glide. It was a 2014 and it was used and it had some work on it, twin cam. And I rode it. It was great. And got rid of that one. I also had a 2007 V-Rod, right? And I put some tab exhaust on it, kept it all stock, but I put those tab exhausts on it and I rode the crap out of it, So I just at that 1 year when before I was able to work more from home, I put 4,000 miles on that motorcycle only going to and from work.
On the V-Rod?
On the V-Rod, yeah.
Ooh.
On the V-Rod. So I did that. And then I kept it. And then I had been wanting a Road Glide, right? I knew I didn't want a Street Glide anymore because for me, the head buffeting, it just didn't work. I just couldn't figure it out. I bought all these little things and I couldn't work. It didn't work out for me. So I saved my money. And after, 4 or 5 years, I finally saw a color that I liked, which was last year in 22, the Redline Red, and I bought it. So where I bought the motorcycle here in Houston, in Republic, Harley Davidson, they had a sale that they would for a 131 stage 4 kit installed was like, like $4,000 or $5,000. So I didn't even leave the deal. I bought the motorcycle, left it there. They delivered it with the 131. So I never rode it with a 114. I have no idea what a 114 feels like. Yeah. So that's what happened there, right? So, and man, you couldn't tell me nothing, Sensei. You couldn't tell me. I thought I was the baddest, fastest road guy in town, man. That torque. And at the time I was getting 125 horsepower, like 136 torque, right? But man, you couldn't tell me nothing. I was going to beat everybody. That wasn't the case but at the time I just felt that, whoa, you know what I'm saying? Yep. But obviously I wanted to upgrade, and you talk a lot about this on your channel is the warranty, right? Yeah. I bought the 131 stage 4 kit all under warranty, Harley tuner, because I wanted a bike under warranty. But after a while, being that I like to go fast and just modify stuff, as we all do, right? We all do. Yep. I was like, well, let me start looking at more horsepower and more options. So I already had the 131, a good platform to build off. But I will say that the 131 had a bad rap at the time. That things blew and gaskets and whatever. And I think there was more reference for the 131 crate engine, right? I had the kit installed and I had no problems with it. I took it to Sturgis, before I got the turbo installed. So, but I called other shops. I called some very well-known shops in Tennessee and in Florida and in Phoenix, right? And I couldn't find a shop here because I just didn't know. I was kind of new to the whole big bagger Harley game, right? Matter of fact, that Street Glide, the red turbo bike, is the first Road Glide I ever rode. I never rode one before. And the second street road glide I've ever rode is my second one, my CVO. So I've never ridden anybody else's CVO. And I think that's kind of good because then I can gauge just my stuff, right? But I guess if I ride somebody else's or like a test ride or the new CVOs or something, then it should be easier to handle in terms of the power, right? But I shopped around, I called, and I'm very methodical where I want to spend my money and what am I going to get my benefit for. And I called Trask. I called Trask and I said, hey, I want a lot of horsepower and I want it to be reliable. What is it going to cost me? So they tell me, so that the turbo kit, and they're very open with their prices. The turbo kit I got that I have now, the Assassin, that turbo kit is $10,000, right? You need to get a Thundermax tuner because that's what jives with the boost gauge and pressure and all that good stuff. And it was good. So August 5th last year, I was in Sturgis and they installed my turbo system on there. It was believe it or not, it was the cheapest, most reliable option that I had to merge with my 131. You know what I'm saying? Yep. And so I went with that, and I kept the stock clutch. I kept the stock compensator. I kept it on the belt and stock transmission, and I still rode it, and I rode it back. So hear me out. I rode, and this is when I first met Kelly B. So Kelly B, if you're watching, nothing but love to you, brother. But I rode through Dallas, and he met me there. We met for the first time. Matter of fact, I showed my face for the first time at his channel. So
I saw that video. I saw that video. Yep.
Yeah. So anyway, so we went out. So I went out there, and then on 131, and people were giving it, saying it was going to be reliable, and you get so many good comments and bad comments. But hey, if anything happens, I'll just wait however long. Call a tow truck driver. What's the problem, bro? It's all good.
That's right. That's right.
So no, I booked it over there, and I had my appointment there with Trask, and so I did it because Sturgis because Trash Performance installs your turbo systems for free at Sturgis and Daytona only.
Oh,
so I said,
really?
Yeah. So I'm like, dude, I'm saving $1,500, maybe $2,000 worth of labor.
What?
I'm going to save that and put it in a hotel or Airbnb. Yeah. So that's exactly what I did. And that's what took me. That's the only reason why I went to Sturgis, to be honest. And I was new to this, YouTube game and content creator, and you just a lot of thoughts that you have in terms of like, oh, I want to miss this. I just want to record everything. But now I got there, and with the 550 SNS cam chest kit and the turbo system with the tuner and the tune that they had on there, it was in and out in 6 hours.
6 hours. They did all of that work in 6 hours.
All that work, and they test rode it three times.
Wow!
And guess what?
What?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
No, and after that, they put another one in there, and they did the same thing. And they do this all day while they're Sturgis. Right.
No, I did not know that. And I'm sure there's going to be people watching this, listening to this, that did not know that. But I am floored by 6 hours.
Yeah, 6 hours. I mean, I got there. So when you go into Black Hills Harley Davidson, because that's where it's at, they don't let you in until I think 8 o'clock, right? But if you're with the vendors or something, they let you in. So I was like, hey, I got this. So they let me right in. And they were there waiting for me. And the thing about Trask, brother, is that they don't just say, hey, bring your bike here or whatever. They're very professional. They're cool as hell, but they're professional at the same time and kind.
I love it.
So I get there, they have they're kind of like a coach, a clipboard, right? Well, you're probably familiar with that, being with what you do now for training. But they get the clipboard, they have, just your name, a little information, and like, okay, they inspect your vehicle. You thought you were renting a car or something or leaving it there, and they do all this. What do you want? What do you want? Okay, we got your parts here. We got your parts here. Everything is super organized to where the bay that they put you in, the lift, has all your parts right there, bro. And I was like, okay, this is where I'm meant to be at this moment. That's what I thought, right? And it was hot as hell. I'm not going to say Black Hills Harley Davidson that day, but hey, man, I'm having a whole turbo. They install it. I turn and burn, have a good time in Sturgis, ride around, get my video, get my footage, and then I burn back 20 hours as the crows fly to Houston, Texas, and no issues. Just
all right.
Fun.
Now, no problems. Now, this is the problem. So a lot of people do hear about the problems with engines and motors, 124s, 131s. They go through a lot of problems. This is what people hear, right? And here you are showing people, hey, not only do I have a 131, but I have this thing supercharged. I got this thing turbocharged, and I rode 20 plus hours. Call it a whole day, right? With no issue. Going back, you had stated, so the Street Glide was your first heavy touring bike owning, the Street Glide. How did you feel transitioning from a Gixxer 1000? Because I had a Gixxer 750. And a lot of people don't know that Gixxer, these bikes, the 600s, the 750s, and the 1000s, like the 600 perform like a 750 in other bikes. And the 750 performed like a 1000. And the 1000 was like surpassing so many different motorcycles back then. The R1 was phenomenal. The R1 was known to have a very light front end. So a lot of people would ride these bikes and wheelie the bike by mistake and crash the damn thing, right? They didn't realize the amount of torque that was on that bike. What I'm getting at is when you transition from that type of power, Superman power, and then you went down to like Batman status with the Street Glide, what was that for? What was it like for your mind? Like, how did you feel?
Well, that bike had a little bit of work on it. So it was more on the torque side. So that's something that I never felt on the GXXR 1000. I mean, you feel the go, but I didn't feel that, whoa, I got to hold on to the handles, right? And it was a twin cam. So those handlebars are jerking, right? Which is why I got the Avon grips on this one that I changed out for my performance machine ones, because I like that. But it makes it a little different than the twin cam, obviously. But no, it was... For me, I would say it was an easy transition. But I think the hardest, the biggest thing to transition from, I guess, 450 pounds to 900 pounds or whatever with me on it, was really getting good at letting go and engaging the clutch when you need to. Because the thing about a Harley Davidson, if you're going to fall or whatever, let go of that clutch, give it some fuel or, whatever, twist the throttle, and it'll go straight up. And so that's one thing that I had to learn. Obviously, the counter steering and stuff with the bagger, stuff like that. You can go as fast, with them and stuff. But one thing I just fell in love with, man, was those high output Vance and Hines dual exhaust. Oh, brother.
Babe,
it was like,
that sound was amazing. Yes, man. Like yourself, I had a Honda 929 at the time. That was the last race bike that I had. And I'm going across the Tappan Zee Bridge. This is back up towards New York. And that bike and I just went like a rocket ship, right? I'm at 120 and the bike is still like laughing at me like, bro, that's all you got, man. And I pushed it a bit more. No lie, brother. I got off the motorcycle, parked on the side of the road. I looked at the bike and I sold the bike the following week.
I
said, I'm gonna mess around and murder myself on this bike because this bike had so much power. It was ridiculous. Then I went and bought my first cruiser, which was a Yamaha V-Star. I went into the Yamaha dealership in New Rochelle and walked out with a V-Star. Now, in my brain, the V-Star looked big. It was big to me, right? But then I started riding. I was like, oh my God, I bought me a little scooter. Going back to like what you said, if you're going to buy a bike, just buy a big bike and call it a day and work your way into getting the bike and knowing the bike. I believe that as well. Then I bought the Raider, which was very similar to the V-Rod. The Raider was kind of like Yamaha's version of the V-Rod and the Fury and trying to mix the chopper look with the style of like performance bikes and so forth. And then I had the Suzuki CT90. Was it Suzuki? No, Yamaha CT90. That was another Metro Cruiser, which is similar to the Road King. Then after that, when I got the M109, which has the Gixxer engine in it, but now the Gixxer is very similar to the V-Rod.
I actually forgot I had an M109R as well.
See, you had that too, right? So love that bike. I didn't really do much with that bike. Now, this time I lived in California. So I said, I'm going to go to Harley Davidson and I'm going to go look to see some Harleys, get some ideas in the Harleys. The guy gave me some ideas. This is Street Glide. That's a Road Glide. Here's the difference between the Street Glide, Road Glide. Street Glide, the whole fairing moves with the handlebars. The Road Glide, the fairings don't move, only the handlebars. Now, race bikes is the same. The fairings don't move, only the handlebars. So no big deal. He gave me the price. I walked out. Thank you for your time. And I walked out. When I moved out here to Georgia, I had sold all my other motorcycles. That's when I went to Harley last May, and went in and bought my Road Glide, a 2022 Road Glide, FLTRX 107, easy, standard, because I knew I was going to rip it apart as time goes anyway. And bro, I'm going to tell you, I love it. I don't see myself going back to any other companies. Like I've grown to literally love the customization, being able to break it down, and the warranty stuff. I'm still big on certain warranties, like having the tire coverage is important, especially when you're ground and pounding like what we do. But I'm over the factory warranty and not being able to do aftermarket parts. Like I'm done with that, because now I'm ready to take that motor now and do motor work to it, which is aftermarket parts. I'm not going to sit back and be a prisoner to Harley Davidson's warranties. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And there's ways around that now. There are ways around that now. They try to say if you use a different tuner, that's really where the problem is. Like if you're using Provision. But heck, I'm at the point now where it's like, whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And so I was just like that, and probably hundreds of thousands of people that are going to watch this or just have motorcycles in general, not even a Harley, right? Because the other bike I liked was a Ducati Diavol. I ended up not getting simply because, how do I say this? If something does go bad with it, I don't want to be waiting around like a Range Rover for a part that's in wherever for 2 months. You know what I'm saying? So I didn't want to do that. So, so that's why I did that. But in terms of the warranty, man, I was like, if I'm going to break my warranty, I'm going to go big. So that's when I introduced, after shopping around and getting the best bang for my buck, that's when I went with Trask. And I'm so happy to do that. I talked to Eric. He's the first one I spoke with over at Trask. He is just impeccable as a person and obviously as a representative of Trask. And then later, when I was at Sturgis, I met Nick, the owner and founder of Trask, and just all this jazz, right? And when you meet somebody of importance, right, or somebody that runs something, whether it's a company, a shop, or whatever, and when he speaks, and he's like cool as hell, right? But I noticed that when he speaks, everybody's like, okay, cool, but they listen to what he says. It's not that they're like bowing down for him; they just simply listen to him, and it's just a show of respect. And I was like, oh, okay. Being from a military background, that's why this is run so smooth. Perfect. I'm where I need to be. So there's little things that I observed, right? And I like to share with everybody because it's so important. They're a big company, right? But it's so important for people just to know which companies have your back and which companies don't. Now, fortunately, there's a lot of companies that do, but there's also those that are wishy-washy. You know what I'm saying? Oh, because you did this extra mile and you went out of the state line, it's done. So no. So anyways, back to the Harley Davidson warranty. I did keep my tire warranty. I mean, why not? That's an easy one. But I just said I'm gonna go big, and I'm happy I did. I have zero regrets from it, and I've actually learned a lot more of the engine performance modifications and customizations with parts that are really, really reliable. Along the way, I've met really good people that are engine builders, right? At Trask over there, I mean, I can't say nothing bad. I mean, they just won their division this weekend again, the Bagger Racing League, for their division, just winning. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And they're humble about winning. And I like that. So, here, Derek, he just moved over here from California, right? He was in Cali too. And he moved down here. His Instagram is taking care of business, performance. And Steven, the owner of Loudmouth Cycles here in the Houston area, he came down here, they're paired up. And that guy knows his business. As you know, I have my series going on with my CVO that's being built out. And I don't know if you saw the recent one with the cylinders, but he's been in the game in terms of the engine building side of it versus just putting things together. And his specialty is working on the headwork, right?
Yes.
Yes. Yeah. So, and that's like a lost art, right? Like that's like, there's a few companies I can count. If I can count those companies with one hand, that's too many kind of deal, right? So we met, through Steven, and he's like, hey, I'm coming down here. I want to do something big. And we talked and this and that. And I said, I have a CVO here and I want to do something big, but just all engine, because I also want to prove that you can't have just a naturally aspirated engine. And I'm telling you guys, and you Sensei, it's gonna the size of the engine compared to the amount of horsepower and torque we're gonna get is gonna be. I mean, that's why I'm doing it, because I was like, I don't think this is possible, right? But we're gonna make it possible. And again, I'm gonna do iron butt saddle sores. As soon as that engine broken in after 500 miles, I'm going at 1,000 miles, going back with the same day. The other thing too about like,
hold on, you're gonna make what possible? You're gonna make what possible? You say you're gonna make it possible.
To prove once again that you can have all the horsepower and all the torque you possibly want, and for it to be, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna prove it. But I will say, as you're watching on my channel, we're upgrading everything. When you go at this level, right? You have to upgrade everything. I'm not gonna sit here and tell you you can do it with $5,000. It's not. Later on, once we make the engine build and everything, I'll disclose all our prices just to share if that's somebody that, people want to do it, because, sometimes people just want a number. Think about it. You know what? I'm good. Here's my bike, right? So that's what I'm going to do. If they just wanted to do the powertrain or just the engine or whatever. So again, it's going to be possible again to have a naturally aspirated engine with a bunch of horsepower, a bunch of torque, chain drive, and all the go fast parts that are not just good on the racetrack or for quarter mile, eighth mile, or an actual track, but is good to go to work, to go to the grocery store or something, or to go get some beer or pizza. I don't know, whatever you want to do. But also, so I already have 1,000-mile saddle sore patch on that CVO with the 131 from Harley, right? But as soon as I break this engine in, I'm going 500 miles one way and 500 miles back. And I'm going to get another patch like that, Saddle Sore 1000 on it as soon as it's broken in, which will be a little bit after Sturgis, maybe the next weekend. So, but again, I do it for two reasons. One, to show you all that it's possible. But second, because if there's something that's going to break, not to say that that's the one rule, but 1,000 miles of your engine going, and I don't go. Let's just say I'm passionate about the speed that I go, right?
Yes.
I don't baby it. I stay in the 4,000 or 5,000 RPMs, simply because that's the speed that I'm going, right? So that should tell you. But I'll easily be on this red turbo bike, man. I'll easily, if I have an opening, I'll stay at 110, 120 for miles and miles, 10, 20, 30, 40, 60, 80 miles, as long as I have the open road to do it. And I feel so confident in doing it. So I'm going to do the same thing with this one. And I'll probably take some earplugs, because that's another hint. It's going to be a rowdy one. But yeah, we're going to prove it. So if you're wondering, for all the viewers, if they're wondering, should I avoid my warranty? That's really up to you guys. You really don't have to. Nobody's holding anything against your head. If you want to, by all means. But I will say that aftermarket parts like SNS, T-Met Performance, Trask Performance, Ultra Cool, that oil cooler that I have changed the game. I will say that. And I've proven it for thousands and thousands of miles. You must have good parts to do it. Secondly, you need to have a good mechanic or tech or somebody that just knows what they're doing. I will say that. So don't go cheap on the labor and don't go cheap on the parts. So you're going to spend money, but man, you're going to be smiling all day. You're going to be smiling all day, You're going to
have a whole different bike.
a whole different bike. And not just that, but like you become a better rider, because I've always been a firm believer, right? That like on the cable clutches, you have the 22 as well, right? So you have that, right? I'm actually going to swap my 22 Road Glide with a turbo to a hydraulic clutch, because that's just more just better for me, right? But with the cable clutch, I have adjustable levers, but you can get all the adjustable levers you want, and it'll help a little bit. But at the end of the day, with these cable clutches, you adjust yourself, your grip, and your throw to the clutch. Yeah. Not like a hydraulic that is the same shift point, right? So I have to build myself up to my turbo bike. I'm still doing that now, And then to this other one, I'm still going to do that. But I'd rather build myself up than, get my motorcycle, stop here with my performance build, and then go. Now, there's nothing wrong with that. But although, we're dropping some cash on it and all this good parts, performance parts, but I'm very firm believer in you cry once, and then go later, right? And then there's the other topic of, man, and this is just everybody's perspective is different, but just from my experience, a lot of people believe that you should upgrade your suspension first, or your seat, your bars, your grip. And I made a short video on that, and that's all true. And when you go into performance bagger, right, that you should upgrade the engine last, and that's perfectly fine. I'm like the opposite, right? It's just I'm like the opposite. I'm like, build your engine, powertrain how you want to, and then get everything afterwards. Now, why do I say that? It's simply because depending on the horsepower and torque and whichever gauge you want to go to. Now, if you already have that in mind, then no problem. You can do whichever route you want to go or go first. But I've learned that when you get all this horsepower, all this torque with all the supporting mods and all that stuff, sometimes you really don't know what you need to benefit you at your height, at your weight, at your skill to put on your bike in terms of suspensions, in terms of lights, in terms of bars, in terms of stuff. So that is my approach. It doesn't look like on this one because we're just doing it all together. But but I would on the CVO, but I would definitely work on the engine first, powertrain, and then just wheels or tires and wheels, whatever and then shocks and up. That's how that's how I do my builds. But it's not how it's been commonly practiced, right? Again, you can modify it as much as you want. If you want to avoid your warranty, you're skeptical. I think it's fine. I think it's worth it. That's my experience. And that's it. But if you do wear your warranty, go back to the dealership and get the rest of your money from the warranty back.
That's right. Get your money back. Get that refund.
Yes, sir.
That's right.
Because I did the same thing.
Yeah, because for those watching who don't know what the 1,000 miles saddles or sewer butt challenge thing is, so he's saying he did 1,000 miles in 24 hours or less. That's what he did. 1,000 miles on a supercharged, a super turbo bike that he got built up. And honestly, I feel the same way too. It's even if you get your bike dynoed, right? When somebody's tuning the bike, most of the times, if you have the right people doing the work and they pushing that bike, if it ain't break during that time, then your bike chances are ain't gonna break. He did that, got it tuned, and then took that ride. Okay, so that's a big thing. The warranty piece, one of the biggest things, and I think you mentioned this too, crew. For me, because I ground pound and I ride a lot, I'm like, man, if I put these aftermarket parts, then Harley Davidson is not going to have the parts if it goes bad. They're going to have to order the parts and that's what really kept me more on the Screaming Eagles side of things, right? Like if I get the Screaming Eagles, chances are they'll have it. If they don't have it, it would take about maybe a day or two versus a whole week to have to wait. And now I'm stranded someplace, right? But I'm over that. I'm over it. I'm done with that. The warranty. Thank you, brother. Thank you. This is where we get the applaud. This applaud Sensei for doing a damn good job. The warranty piece, though, is like, so I'm gonna share this with you, right? My tire went out of me. You and I spoke about this. The tire literally the front tire literally lost the whole meat. I ain't even share it on the social media too much yet. And this is coming back from Milwaukee with my son, right? And the whole tire, poof. We were fine. It got off the highway, everything else. But to make the long story short, took it to Harley Davidson. They checked the threading on the tire. Because of course, warranties always have some type of stipulation, right? You have to have a certain amount of threading on there and blah, 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 for them to replace your tires. So they checked the tires. The threading was perfect. So now I'm getting new tires put on the front and new tires put on the back. I have a $50 deductible, and that's all I'm paying. Versus me having to go and pay $289 or $350 for Michelin Commander 3s. And then now I'm stuck with a big bill, right? The oil change stuff. A lot of us do our own oil changes, but I have the service. I let them do that work. Guess what? They check everything they need to check, not just the oil changes. And I'm comfortable with that part. Everything else, they can keep. Give me my money back. Give them a refund, and then we're golden.
Yeah. The only thing I want to add that I just get too excited when I talk about this stuff is that these aftermarket parts also have their own warranty, right?
Yeah.
So like Loudmouth Cycles, and along with Derek from Taking Care of Business Performance, My build is totally aftermarket. You saw like
Yep.
these guys, they took the engine apart in like, I don't know, maybe 50 minutes and they were chilling. Like they know what they're doing, right? And the engine would be back together if we had all the parts. It would have been together within a day, to be honest. They're just that good. And then dynoed maybe the next day. But anyways, these parts are warranted by these manufacturers like SNS. Like if the oil pump and cam plate or the cam is faulty and that's the cause of its malfunction, push rods and lifters and roller rocker arms, they will replace it. Now, obviously, you have to have the labor included, but here's the deal. I'm getting my bike done here at Lamel Cycles, and Steven is a direct authorized dealer of every single part that's going on my motorcycle. So what does that mean, right? And we probably should talk about it more in these videos that I'm doing. What does that mean? It means that they're gonna install it, they're gonna do what they do, and they're gonna give you the keys, and you're just gonna go do your thing, right? If within a certain period, and I don't know, I need to find out, but it's an ample amount of period of time. Within that period, if something goes wrong with your bike and this and that, guess what? You take it right back to them, just like you would to any dealership, and they'll diagnose a problem and then they'll fix it, right? Obviously, if you're like, if it got flooded or something, I mean, that's different. You know what I'm saying? There's an accident that caused this, that's a little different. But if you're just riding and something goes down, it could be, I don't know, your starter or your brake is kind of shaking, or that your engine just kaput, right? That's not going to happen. But if it does, when you're dealing with an authorized dealer and they install and they do the work, right? It's warranted under them. What they'll do is, for example, if I have issues with my with not getting enough oil or my engine's just getting too hot because of that.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know what's going on. I'm not a master builder, engine builder for Harleys, right? I'm gonna take it right back to them. They're gonna diagnose it. Oh, what's the oil pump? Okay, they take it off. They ship it over, or they'll have another one there, slap it on, and you're good. And the warrant and the labor will be covered under that because it's something that they installed with their authorized product that you bought from them, right? So I just want to say that because I've done the mistake before where I bought my parts, take them, and install it. They do great work, not them, but like other people, other shops and stuff. But then it's like I said, I'm stuck with the bill. Okay, the labor bill and this. But when you go to an authorized a dealer and buy from them and have them do the work, just like I guess like Harley, I guess is kind of what it sounds like. You're covered under that umbrella. So that is something also to consider. But just gotta make sure that they're an authorized dealer, like Loudmouth Cycles is. They're an authorized dealer of SNS, Baker Transmission, T-Man, Alloy Art. Oh my God, that air filter that I got. Oh my God, I don't know if you saw it. That bad boy is like this big.
Yes. Yes.
They're an authorized dealer of all that stuff, ARP bolts and what else? Those cylinders. They're the only authorized dealers for the cylinders that I got on my CVO build. They're the only ones, and if you buy from them, they have to install them. That's the deal.
Wow.
Out of the whole country, unless somebody else knows somebody, but I don't think so. They're so exclusive, and that's why they're so expensive, and it takes a little while to get, right? But you get what you pay for, at the end of the day. Those cylinders by themselves, they cool the engine down by 20 degrees by themselves. Yeah,
that's right. That's a lot. That's a lot.
Yeah. But anyway, so in the warranty, you'll break it, but if you get it done by an authorized dealer, they should be able to cover it under that umbrella. Just make sure dealing with somebody reputable, Google reviews, whatever. So.
That's a great topic, though. I mean, today's talk is really awesome, right? Because there are a lot of people who they are really thinking about building stuff in their bike and kind of breaking the warranty, but they're so hesitant about it. So this first episode is really, 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 it's needed. It is needed. When you talk about Trask, and you and I speak behind the scene a lot, feel free to just plug Trask as much as you can, because Trask really is an amazing company. They deal with a lot of high quality products. They deal with people who work off quality content developers like yourself. I see a lot of the stuff that you're putting together. So is there anything you want to share with the people watching this regarding Trask? I know you spoke about them earlier, but is there anything else you want to plug with the company?
Yes, I do. I'm in the process of getting my own exclusive discount code for all of you guys. And it's a big deal because it's the first time in the existence of Trask that they've ever had a discount code. I mean, so let me back up. Veterans, all my veterans like me or whatever, you automatically get 10% off of everything except the turbo systems. So you got to give Eric a call over there. Just call their number, hit sales, ask for Eric, and he'll take care of you. Or go to my one of my videos that I have, and I'll have his contact information in there. But call Eric and then order what you want. Excuse me, and they'll get you 10% off. 10% off. Now, everybody else, you're going to get 10% off as well. So I just got off the phone with him, and the discount code actually isn't valid, right? It's not valid yet. So the discount code is 2147 crew with a capital C, right? And that's active now, but I tried it didn't work. But I spoke with Eric because I want to get you all these discounts, right? Just give him a call, right? Give him a call and he'll impose that discount. And I think maybe free shipping. Don't quote me on that. That's also a big deal, But yeah, so it's going to be a 10% discount code for all you guys. I got their floorboards. I got everything. So the 10% again is for everything with the exception of the turbo systems. Now, back to my veterans, man. Trask is very supportive of the United States and the military and what it's about, right? So you guys, like myself, will get not just 10% for the military discount, but also a 10% that everybody else is getting. And they're going to be joined for a total of 20% off. 20% off, brother. So, for example, that swing arm that I got, and thank you, Trask Performance, for partnering up with this build. That swing arm, brother, is $3,000. It's not cheap. That one swing arm is $3,000, right? But with your 10% off, that's $300 off.
That's right.
Veterans, let's just make the math. That's $600 off for the veterans. Brother, you can't beat that. Now, obviously, if you're going to get like the floorboards, they're like $430. They're really inexpensive, And so that's what, $43 off. That's a tank of gas or maybe a McDonald's for $4 now because everything's expensive. But you know what I'm saying? That is substantial. So go to the website if you want and use 2147 crew as a discount code. If it doesn't work for whatever reason, or if it's not active, please give Eric a call. Just go to Trask Performance to their website, hit the sales. I think it's number 2, or number 1, and ask for Eric, and they'll definitely take care of you. Let them know that I sent you.
I was going to say that. I was just going to say, being that the code is not activated, if somebody decide to go and call and speak to Eric, they have to give that name, 2147, right?
Yeah, 2147 crew, or you can just say crew. Or if you forgot my name, the guy with the red turbo bike, they know exactly who I am, Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. And also, if you go to my channel, I actually did a shop tour with Eric in there, and I saw all these products get made. Like they have them, they're like literally right there. And it was just so impressive to see them. They have from the CNC milling for all their parts to their welding department to these turbo systems. So let me just say on these turbo systems, if you're kind of on the fence, yes, it's $10,000. This is the most expensive one that I got, right? But it's made by hand. And what I mean that is made by hand is they have a mock M8 engine with a motorcycle that actually burned, but they're using it as a mock-up, right? And it's all in my video on the shop tour. And you literally get the turbo with the header and the pipes, and they just TIG weld it, right? And then they get the exhaust and everything. And then they go back, they put some kind of gas in it to weld it. Now, the reason they put the gas in it is because when they weld the stainless steel on the outside, how it's welded on the outside is also on the inside, is identical. So what that means is you get better flow and more horsepower and torque, right? Wow. So there's a lot that goes into it. And all these turbo systems, the Assassin turbo systems, they're all one-off. If I get a piece from this one and get a piece from this one, it's not going to fit. It's just not going to fit. So this is what you get, So it's like, if you get it, it's like yours, But yeah, man, so it's 10% off. Another thing that I like to share is that August 5th, I'm going to be in Sturgis. Well, I'm going to be in Sturgis for more days, but August 5th, I'll be at the Trask booth there at Harley Davidson, or Black Hills Harley Davidson, from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. You guys are more than welcome to go hang out. If you don't want to see me, perfectly fine. But my buddy Dwayne, he's taking his own. I don't know if you've seen it. His Road Glide has been on my channel. We went to Daytona, and that's actually built by Trask, but it was customly painted by like Forever Rad, Lucky Strikes, and all these guys. Inverted Oling shocks. You think my bike is fast and bad? brother.
That one.
That when that bad boy rolls in, that's a big boy. And Dwayne is so cool, man.
Super Saiyan
So
God
cool.
level. Man.
Yeah, and then Tommy, he's on Crawdaddy on Instagram. He's going to be going there, and he might have the biggest M8 engine with this turbo, getting the most horsepower out of all of us, right? With the exception of the Trask race bikes, and he's going to ride it 1,000 miles to get there. All these bikes are being ridden. Dwayne is riding that bad boy from El Paso to Sturgis. We're going to meet somewhere in Colorado. And then if you guys don't know Radar World, I don't know if you follow Radar World on YouTube. Yeah. He's also going to be there with us, hanging out. And he's just a cool dude. He's a Marine guy like my son, and just down to earth. He's going to be there as well. And then a couple of them other gentlemen that are going to go with their boosted bikes and stuff. Plus whoever else wants to go. Like I said, I just talked to Eric before I came on here just to make sure that I'm not saying what I'm not supposed to say. But they're so easy to get along with. It's like, hey, anybody and everybody that wants to come, we got open arms. And I'm like, perfect. So man, after that, we might go to the Buffalo Ship, or we might go to the Iron Horse, or I don't know, or down to the Strip. We don't know. So come hang out with us.
What? Come on, baby. That's what I'm talking about. I've never been to Sturgis. I'm going next year, definitely. Mm-hmm. This year, I wanted to take a ride down, but my bike is going to be getting some work done on. I'm going to reveal the stuff that I'm doing to the bike slowly but surely on the channel, because I have people right now like, yo, what are you doing? Mind your business. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
Like you, Hogworks has been sponsoring a lot of things for what I'm getting ready to do. Mm-hmm. And Hogworks has taken me where, I look at that company, I'm like, wow, big up to my man, Rob from Hogswork. He's been getting things together, sending me a whole package of stuff. Also Tab Performance, right? Tab Performance is sending me a bunch of stuff. So those two companies I absolutely love. And we spoke a little bit about the business side of things earlier off this call. And I feel like when you have major companies that look at you and believe in what you're doing and believe in your messaging, and they're willing to sponsor, send you products, even though you're going to be putting the products on your bike and you're promoting the products, it's a great relationship. It's an excellent relationship. Yeah. Now, as we wrap this up, but we're not keeping people here too long, YouTube, what is it that you love about being on YouTube?
I've been asked that question a lot, and a lot of times I was tongue-tied because there's so much I wanted to say, but I just didn't know what to say. But now I think my first response, there's a lot of reasons there's a lot of things that I like about YouTube, but I will say the biggest thing I really like about YouTube is having the ability. It's opened a lot of doors, right? But I'm a very personal, approachable person, right?
Yeah.
But I would say that it's just meeting people, like, met you, Kelly B, Radar World, Traveling Tall. I mean, I was, let me just tell you, take a little moment to talk about Traveling Tall. We raced, we had a good time or whatever, but I'm just so excited that, my first race on a track, right? And granted, I rode 1,000 miles and all that good stuff, was with Tall. He's an excellent gentleman and a perfect representation of what riding out. I don't care if it's a Harley or not. He's nice, and his whole family, like that whole thing. You were there where we met, and I mean, just a stellar, impeccable person, in my opinion, right? So, Tall, if you're watching that, nothing but love to you guys, and then everything else, Papa Rides, obviously GQ, and forgetting, Radar World, and then all these people that I met in Daytona. She rides moto. Like, everybody's just so cool, man. So if I forgot to mention you, please don't take it personal. There's just so many. And then obviously you have the supporting, or the other application, which is Instagram. That's open. I've just met so many people. So I will say, just to sum up the answer to your question, is that I've been able to meet a lot of nice people. I've also been able to meet people that I thought were cool, but are not. That might be a different topic, but it's really not many. And I'm just really happy to have met just good, solid people on this platform. And I think that's because we have one goal in mind, along with many, which is just ride and just share this content, right? Share all of this information. You know what I'm saying? And just bring people more to the community. And I had a conversation with my wife. I was like, imagine a world, right, that everybody had a motorcycle. I don't care what it was. And that was the main mode of transportation, right? Just imagine, within reason, because I know there's people that are impaired that can't, right? But imagine a world that everybody had a motorcycle. I don't care if it was electric. I don't care if it's a moped. I don't care if it's a Harley, something. What would that do to, right, to the environment, right? What would it do to our pockets? Within reason, because I know there's rain and stuff like that. But I don't know. It was an interesting topic that we spoke. I was like, well, we could do this, but what if you get married? And there's a lot of different things that go into it, right? But I think that would be pretty cool. So everybody, if you can, get a trike, get a Can-Am, a side-by-side license. Just get out there and do it within reason, of course. So
I love it. Yeah. I love it. I'm all for people riding their bikes, man. I would tell me buy a bike. Buy a bike, because it really is therapy. It really is. Your parts in India, parts in Japan, parts in China, where people, they ride, or they scooters, motorcycles. It's like a litany of stuff, For me, YouTube, same thing as you. I love the community. I enjoy being able to share content that can inspire people, and at the same time, piss some people off, because I like people who speak truth, right? And if you are, like, for example, Ride Fit Nation, I'm talking about fitness as well. If you out of shape and you got a big belly in front of you, you need to get that belly gone, right? That's not healthy. And people might, oh man, he pissed me off. He called me fat. Well, you said it. I didn't use the word fat, but I like the idea of building family, building camaraderie, sharing information, seeing the comments, and knowing that I would say 99.9% of the people on my platform is very positive. I've read your stuff as well. The same thing with you. Every now and then we might get a few stragglers, people who are like keyboard warriors and they want to be extra crazy, but those are the ones who I still love, because they still give us more content. Give me something else to talk about. You know what I mean? And you're helping me out by commenting, because the algorithms don't care about what the comments say. They only care about the comments. Like, show me the views, show me the likes, and show me the comments, But brother, I want to tell you, man, thanks a lot for joining with me today on the first episode ever on Ride Fit Nation. Guys, 2147 crew, please check out the channel, reach out to him, connect with him, let him know you saw the program here. This gentleman is amazing on camera and off camera. Okay. He's what I call a real life Avenger. He knows why I say it, but he's a real life Avenger. All right, brother, I love you, man. Let's keep this thing grinding. Let's keep this thing pushing. I can't wait to see that CVO bill, though. I can't wait to see it. I'm looking forward.
Yeah, man. I thank you for the kind words. And again, for everybody who's watching this, I'm going to echo my sentiments on Mr. Sensei here, right? Mr. Ride Fit Nation. And, he exudes just positivity, just good vibes and everything like that. But, and I think we're very similar. Like, we're just, he is, I relate to you a lot. Because of your approach and how you do things. And there's a lot of similarities, right? But nonetheless, Sensei is an excellent person, good character. And can I just say how much of an excellent follower you are to your son? Oh, and I don't know if you have other kids, but to your kids and stuff like that, you're sharing that, and that's real, right? I would like to do the same thing, but my kids in the Marine, my oldest, and then my little girl's small, so I don't want to show all that. And then my little one, I might show him Brody. He's 15 months, and I think he thinks he's the executive marketing director of 2147. But he looks like a little offensive lineman, but that's good. Love this guy. So again, man, Sensei here is an amazing, impeccable person, and 2147 crew approves. And just subscribe to him, man. And I'll see you soon, man. I'll see you soon. I know we'll see each other soon. Between Atlanta and Houston, we're gonna run into each other.
Oh, we guarantee. That's a must, brother. Hey, don't hang up. I'm gonna click it off, and we got this together. All right, guys. Okay. Let's get these miles. Let's get this money, and let's get this muscle. All right, miles. Get in your butt and ride your butt out there. Just get the money. Get your work done. Make sure you do your thing, and let's get those what? Those muscles.
Muscles, baby.
Let's go, baby. Peace.